Peace family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how no one will fight harder for you than you. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to fight harder for yourself than you are going to fight for yourself. And what kind of brought me to the subject today was I was able to hear two beings engaging, and one of the beings was just kind of letting them know that they had injured themselves or whatever. Just wanted to let them know that they had injured themselves or whatever, you know what I mean? And it was hurting them pretty bad, and they was trying to figure out if they should go to the hospital or not. And the other being, advice for them was not to go to the hospital, right? Because the hospital isn't gonna do anything for them. But then on the other hand, when I throw out the advice of, just kind of have you tapped into any kind of content or looked up any knowledge to kind of help you in your spiritual space, because when you know things, it kind of helps put you at a little bit more ease within. And they was kind of referring that back to the other person they was communicating with, and the other person hit them with the don't go self-diagnosing yourself. When I heard this word spelled, that's all I could think of. Don't go self-diagnosing yourself. How could you not think of that or process that as a spell? You know what I mean? How could you not take that as someone telling you not to fight for yourself? So like you tell someone don't go to the hospital, but then you tell them don't look into any knowledge or information and fight for themselves. These are the kind of beings that we all have to engage and deal with on a regular basis. You know what I mean? So it's like some beings understand what's going on with the system, right? And they all fuck the police. But then you all in cahoots with the system everywhere else. That don't make much sense to say, fuck the police here, or I don't want to work the job here because I don't want to pay taxes, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. But then you in cahoots with them with your spiritual process, your thought process, where you're getting and receiving your information from. The information that you are spewing out, the word spells that you're spewing out. That's what I mean by nobody's gonna fight harder for you than you. Like, why would you advise somebody not to go to the hospital and then not have any advice to compensate for it on the other end? You know what I mean? So like, I'm a person that I'm not a fan of the hospitals, you know what I mean? But I would, if I'm telling somebody don't go because there's some information that I feel like I may know that may help them or that can guide them in a better direction so they could take a dive deeper into whatever it is they have going on, then I would put one of my solutions on the other end if I'm recommending them not to go to the hospital. But I wouldn't tell someone not to go to the hospital and then tell them, oh, don't go looking into anything to self-diagnose yourself. Like, that's fucking retarded. That is fucking retarded. Like, there is but so many ways you could process that kind of information, especially if you know the kind of relationship you have with these kind of beings that communicate like that, you know what I mean? So like, if they friends and shit, you know what I'm saying, it's like, it's limits. But once it become like parents and siblings and shit, it's limits on that. But that shit is more to infinity and beyond, because the relationship that's been established spiritually is much deeper. So, and it's already a connection there before you was even aware, because a lot of us grow up with our siblings, so we're connected to them even when we're, a couple months, if they older than us or younger than us, or if they're 1-2 years behind us, that even if we don't recall, we still have that spiritual tie connection with them. So nobody's gonna fight for you harder than you fight for yourself, and we have to understand that. Like, we all know that the system don't give a fuck about us, so they're gonna make you show that you are value and that you're worth something and that you are willing to fight for yourself. And that's at every angle and aspect of the system in this matrix, you know what I mean? So I don't care if you in China, UK, Africa, you know, they got the matrix set up everywhere. So your ass could still just be in the matrix over there, just it's structured different for your culture over there. You know what I'm saying? But if you have to go by the same monopoly board, then you are in the matrix. You know what I mean? So once you understand that, it's easier for you to dip and dive in and out, and you armor and you protect yourself more as you're dipping in and out of those kind of spaces. But be careful of like the word spells that people put out there, and you have to reject them immediately. You know what I mean? You have to reject them immediately, because as soon as that statement was said around me, I had just made a little response back, and it was really light, you know what I mean? But it was just enough to kind of cancel out that word spell that was just thrown out there. You know what I'm saying? Over here, we are huge on fighting for self-knowing, self-awareness, you know what I'm saying? Helping and healing, sharing, all of the above, you know what I'm saying? So like when people try to mislead and give false information like that, you have to understand that it's two playbooks. They are not receiving their information from this team over here, not the natural flow of things. They're receiving their shit from way the fuck over here. You know what I mean? To just spew it out so easily, and then to not even have a counter to it. And the thing is like once I said what I said afterwards, it was like the entity within that being had just got silent, and then it was like, oh, I gotta go. And of course it is, because you an adult physically, so you're not dumb. Once you've been here on this earth long enough, you are aware. I don't give a damn what kind of life you live. You've experienced life to live, to be 30, 40, 50, 60. So that's the information and how you choose to receive and process. And you know the shit is wrong. That's why when something is spoken up that's light, or that's more organic, or that's more meaningful, that opposition shuts the fuck down in the inside. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't really trying to battle with other entities that it don't know, because it don't know the other entities' powers. So for them, they just shut that shit down and they skedaddle. You know what I'm saying? It's the ones that's really in your space that knows you. See, I don't know that one that well, but they know the other beings, you know what I'm saying? But for me, they don't know where my shit is at. So they just knew that it hit when it was said. But just being mindful, like it's a lot of beings out here that's gonna try to pretend like they fighting for you, you know, but you know what it feels like to fight for yourself. So if somebody's fighting for you, you're supposed to feel that energy added on to it, not like it's luggage. You know what I'm saying? How is this help and this is luggage? Spiritually, you know, that was just information. That didn't have nothing to do with helping nobody with no rides or housing or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just giving motherfuckers the wrong information and putting word spells out there. You know, wrong information is meaning like, okay, don't go to the hospital. That's wrong information. You know what I'm saying? Because there are light workers in the hospital too. As much as I don't like the hospital, there is some beings that wiggle around in that space, you know, and those vessels are also used. So but you have to come with a better compensation. You have to come with a better compensation. Just say don't self-diagnose yourself means you don't know much about yourself. That means you don't want to take care of yourself. That means you don't want to heal anything that's going on within you or out of you. You know what I'm saying? You don't really care for the awareness of the beings around you. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's, you know that opposition playbook is extremely selfish. It is extremely selfish. You know what I'm saying? It is extremely for self. You know, they took self-preservation and they overly used it. You know, it's kind of like with anything out here. You have too much of your favorite something, you're going to want to take a break from it. You know what I mean? So, but It's gonna be a lot of this weird communication and weird casting of spells that, you know, some people like to say rebuke. I just say reject, you know what I'm saying? But you're gonna have to dispose of that shit when people is sending that energy to you, or if they're just putting it out in the universe, because that shit wasn't sent to me. It was just being put out in the universe. And in my space, when we're in spaces like this, our spaceships, our universes are next to each other. So I'm not gonna let your shit in your universe just spill over into my shit. No, I'm gonna let my shit outpower your shit. Especially pertaining since where my shit is coming from, because I wasn't trying to cause any ill harm or ill intent. It's just the word spells was just, don't go into self-diagnosing yourself. Like, I want to take care of myself. So why would I depend on somebody else to do it who's clearly showed they don't give a fuck about me? And that they only willing to do it if it's a transactional exchange. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way. And then it still is stipulations that come with the transaction still. Because they basically saying, yeah, we're transactioning, but I don't give a fuck about you. Okay, so I'm going to need you to sign these documents so you know that I don't give a fuck about you. That's why it's our job to make sure we are fighting for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? You have to continue to fight for yourselves. And all those light workers out here, we continuously sending energy around to the rest of us out here, the ones that need the energy. You know what I'm saying? The ones that don't want the energy, just best believe that shit is skipping right over you. That's why you're still having accidents and bumping into all this other weird shit going on. But for the rest of us, we hitting these rocks and bumps and we still going. You know what I'm saying? We still going. And even if you hit a big one and you fall down, guess what? Your ass bounce back up. That's why we still here. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't want to run it up too long. You know what I'm saying? We are fighting for ourselves. Continue to fight harder for yourself, more than anybody else, or don't plan on anybody else fighting harder for you than you are fighting for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Your body, your vessel, your temple is your everything. Your spaceship, you know what I'm saying, is your everything. When I'm saying everything, I mean your everything to connect you to this realm. That's what I mean, because once you get out of your vehicle, you on to your next journey. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we only get one of these vessels right here. Do what you can do, you know what I'm saying? Continue fighting for yourself. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.